Hey, what's up you guys, it's Austin of The Lone Few, and today I want to talk about the future of Call of Duty. And wow, that sounds really melodramatic. I don't want to I'm not looking at the 10-year chart or anything. I'm talking about, I want to look at where I think the series is going next, and kind of what I've seen a lot of murmurings in the Call of Duty community about, just kind of rumors, or I guess not even rumors, more of people kind of speculating, I guess, that they might put in some kind of a Battle Royale mode after seeing the massive success that is PUBG and games like Fortnite. And I want to talk about what that would mean for Call of Duty if they went this route. And so I want to start off by saying I think that the actual mode would be a good idea. I've always said that Call of Duty as an engine it's probably the best first-person shooting engine that I've ever used. And when I say engine, meaning the controls. You know, when you're playing single player, so take any kind of net code and stuff out of it, which I know has been a subject of debate for the last decade, but just strictly single player even, it is the tightest controlling FPS I've ever played, and when you pick it up, it just feels so natural when compared to something like Battlefield or Rainbow Six. And there have been times where I look at certain games and certain game mechanics like Battle Royale modes, and I'm like, man, this would be great if only it were on an engine that I know, and an engine that's easy to pick up. And so I think that if they took this setup and brought it into a Battle Royale mode, as long as they tweak certain things like the health, for instance, I don't think in a Battle Royale, you shouldn't die in under 5 bullets, right? You should be able to get armor and patch up so it takes closer to maybe, 10. And then some other small little tweaks here or there, I think it could be a very fun mode. It can work, is all I'm saying, I guess, One thing that they would have to do is, of course, just strip everything down to the bare bones. I don't think, I don't want to see something like what we have currently with zombies, where you make a class beforehand and you go into the Battle Royale with your 3 perks selected and your starting weapon and this and that. I think that if they go that route, they're severely missing the mark here, that they should just drop you in pretty much naked, like you do in PUBG or in Fortnite, and you have to work and find your materials and your weapons and so forth. So I think that if they follow games like PUBG or Fortnite to a T, it could be a very fun game. And I think it would also probably be very fruitful for them, because right now, Call of Duty is kind of back on the upswing, right? World War II has kind of rejuvenated the community in some sense. Some people that got off on the whole future warfare thing hopped back on. It felt like it got a lot more publicity from the outsiders than, previous games did. And all in all, it feels like Call of Duty's back on the upswing, but they have to, somehow continue that. And right now, with Battle Royale modes being as big as they are, this is something that I feel like would bring a lot of people back to Call of Duty, or a lot of people to Call of Duty who's never played it before. And I think that Activision knows this, and they might be, looking to implement such a thing. But the problem that I have with it is that it takes a lot of work to develop this mode, right? And now Call of Duty's always, in my head at least, been very good about value, bang for your buck, right? When you buy Call of Duty, you're buying 3 separate games a lot of times. You're buying the campaign, which arguably isn't a full game because it's 6 hours long half the time and almost no replay value. But you're buying the campaign, you're buying multiplayer, as well as a co-op mode. So zombies, or in older games like Spec Ops or Instinction and all of that stuff. That if they would just seamlessly add a Battle Royale 4th mode to all of this, I would be perfectly happy with that. I would be ecstatic. I love it. It would be, happy days from here on out. But I don't see that being a route that they take. I could easily see them implement a Battle Royale in the same way that they implemented War in World War II, where it's just a game mode within multiplayer. Which, of course, that's also great. At that point, it's just semantics. But my concern then is, well, with the DLC season, in World War II, we're getting 1 war map and 3 multiplayer maps. And of course, a war map is a lot more involved to create than a multiplayer map, right? So we have 3 and 1, and while that actually might be more physical content, we have less multiplayer maps. But the problem is a Battle Royale map, if it were 100 players, which I feel like it would have to be in order to compete with PUBG and Fortnite, or at the very least 50 players, they would have to be massive maps. And I'm afraid that what would end up happening is they would have this Battle Royale mode, and they would strip war from the game. Just throw that out completely. And instead, now every DLC has, say, 2 multiplayer maps and 1 Battle Royale map, because it takes a lot of resources to create such a map. Or even at launch, we might see, again, like 9 multiplayer maps and, 4 Battle Royale maps if they really, really wanted to concentrate on this new mode. And my concern is that everything would start gravitating towards this Battle Royale, and we just start losing the focus, which has always been on regular multiplayer, team deathmatch, domination, all that jazz. And we would also get back in this rhythm of what old Call of Duty's had, where it was, Black Ops 1 would implement a feature, and then MW3 the next year just wouldn't implement that cool new feature because they're by different dev teams, right? And so it always felt like we're, 1 step forward, 2 steps back with every single new feature. And I think that something like War is a very, very fun mode that I want to see continue into, Black Ops 4 or whatever, the next Call of Duty game is. And that while I would enjoy a Battle Royale mode in this engine, I'm not so sure that I would sacrifice something like War or any other modes. And now it's entirely possible that they wouldn't do this, that instead they would just tack this on in the same way that like Black Ops 3 honestly had so many different game modes in it, things like free run and the nightmare mode, that they just kind of threw in at launch and then didn't really, there was no DLC for it or anything. It really wasn't even advertised. It was just there in the game, and it was just extra stuff. And we could see that in Black Ops 4, where it's just completely extra. It's not taking anything away. But the track record of World War II, in that it seems like they cut so many corners, I feel almost as if that might continue, and I don't want that to continue. My concern is that by adding new things in the game, because they are, what's in right now, they're going to end up removing things that other games, have perfected at this point. All just for the sake of keeping up with the newest trend. And I mean, people always say that Call of Duty has to, reinvent itself, right? That it can't be the same game over and over and over and over again, right? But at the end of the day, do we really want Call of Duty to just mindlessly warp through, what other games have already done? Every time that a new genre gets popular? I mean, that's exactly what happened with the Future Warfare stuff. What happens when Black Ops 4 puts in a Battle Royale mode, and then, all these other Royales start to die off, people really don't like them anymore. But now we already have 3 more games in the can, Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer's next games, that both heavily focus on this Battle Royale mode that now no one wants to play. Which would be fine if it was tacked on. Of course, I'm not complaining about new content. I'm saying that if they include this new content at the cost of, removing old stuff, that's no bueno. You start to lose some of the things that keep me coming back and keep a lot of other people coming back. And I hope that they know to toe that line, I suppose, if they include such a mode. And you know what? I think that's probably where I'm going to end the video. I mean, there's really not too much more to say. I feel like I've already repeated myself enough. I like the idea of a Battle Royale mode. I just don't want it to take away from other core concepts of the game. And that's about where I stand on it. I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Would you enjoy such a mode, or do you think that it would just feel like pandering? I'm curious to know what the community thinks, because I think that Call of Duty right now is coming out of a bit of a metamorphosis, right? As well as a lot of the gaming community. I feel like suddenly they're making a fuck ton of money on, supply drops and loot crates, that they might be looking to spread that around a little bit and kind of see what sticks and how to invest that back into the game and add more and more and more to it. That's a possibility, or they could also just be lining their pockets with hundreds now instead of 50s, who knows. Anyway, that's where I'll leave you. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, maybe subscribe, and join our Discord server down in the description. And yeah, that's about it. So yeah, I will see you guys when I see you guys. So see you guys. Peace.